Hey folks, Dr. Rotovall here. It is windy and cold, April 15th. Got a lot done to patch, not ever as much as you'd like to have done. But I'm gonna bring you up to date and show you where I'm at right now. Hold tight. Oh goodness, let's start the stop sign patch. I've got her fully amended and tilled in. Real happy with this soil. Good and loose, relatively deep. We had a nice rain last night, and it's always amazing how that rain works the little rocks up to the surface. I swear I think I could pull them out of here for 100 years and they'd still work up to the surface. I have underneath the bucket, my walking board to the bucket, is the thermostat running to the soil cables off the dirt midnight. So I have my thermostat, all these set at 75, I believe. I'll see what this one's up to. It's 63.2, which is pretty good. You can see the 75. Not bad. When I first put it in there, guys, I want to say it was probably 51 at, or maybe even 49, 51, something like that. So we've raised a fair amount of degrees, about 13 or 14 degrees in temperature in this block area where the soil heating cables are. And it's been plugged up for a day and a half without any covering. So the probe that runs the thermostat, and I'll show another one here in a minute. We'll look at the ones in the main patch. It's probably, I'd say, 9 inches deep. The cables are probably about 14 inches deep. So, you know, you've got a fair bit of 5 inches of soil for that heat to permeate upwards. All right, it's cold. Let's hurry this video up. Oh, midnight. Let's go check the main patch. It's too cold to be out here, isn't it? You're not coming inside, though. You're shedding like crazy. You stay right out here, cat. So I got a hot hut up yesterday. Yeah, baby. And this is perfect because it's crazy windy. You hear the wind chimes, and I freeze my booty off and everything else. So this hut, obviously I didn't get it up yesterday. What I did is I got the end walls and everything was good, kind of just ran out of daylight and lassoed it to this T-post with some zip ties and some wire. Just hobo set it up there so it wouldn't blow away. Now when I put it up there, guys, I had it oriented like that one, you know, just side to side normal. But the wind has twisted this bad boy and has her in that position. Now it's not going to bend those steel frames. Those frames are Shelter Logic, and they're tough. It's pretty good steel. I mean, I guess it could bend it, but we're going to have some serious, crazy winds, ripping shingles off to probably bend that steel. What tickles me and makes me quite happy is this one has been up the whole time during that wind and nastiness and hasn't moved an inch. How cool is that? And there's no anchoring whatsoever on the greenhouse itself. What I have, there is some anchoring, obviously. What's the green strap, Doc? Well, maybe that's some anchoring, but you follow me here. Normally I run rebar up through the steel tube in every corner. I can't do that anymore because I have soil heating cables at 14 to 16 inches, and I'm not going to pound a piece of rebar in there and light myself up. So I'm well outside of my 10 by 10 area with T-posts. Pound in a T-post, ratchet strap hooked to the frame up there, and just tighten down every corner a little bit by little bit until I got her bolted down really well. And my goodness, it holds it in place. It's probably the firmest hold I've ever had. Obviously I throw a little bit of soil on that, but the wind could, if that was just the holding us in, that thing would be sailed across. It'd be over in those pine. It'd look like that one, but wrapped around a pine tree. But it's nice to have a hut up. Nothing else is in there. I don't have electric in it yet, but I'm happy to at least have a hut ready to rock and roll. The soil up here, obviously fully amended and tilled. Hooray! More weed pressure though. You know, I did this as an earlier till, so I've got a couple options to take care of these weeds. So either I'm gonna have to go out there and do some Roundup or some sort of glyphosate to murder them back, or till it again. And I'd say realistically I'll probably just till it again. And it's amazing, you can look at the difference. The area that had mustard. Remember that mustard straw from last video of all that mustard and winter kill and the weed pressure? Nothing. Whereas you could draw a line where the mustard stopped, and I had the 2206 pounder setting, and there was weeds growing up through and didn't have a mustard cover. Big difference. Crazy. Even a winter kill mustard that you sow down, the weed pressure, look what it's done. It's amazing. Winter killed. Super cool, something to think about for future grows. I'd love to run a mustard on this upper patch, but didn't have time. You just ran out of warm days, and obviously we're going to let that fruit set there. We're not we're not in the business of growing mustard. We're in the business of growing fruit. So just didn't have time to put the mustard in and get anything out of it. Now, so what I will do, guys, is I will till the area again. If we get a little touch warmer, maybe I do throw down mustard, and I have a spring mustard, and I till ahead. And that's kind of what I did last year with pretty good success. I was quite happy with that. So that might be the game plan again this year. So there's our electrical running the perimeter, the main patch. One cord just goes on down to that far bucket. Hut number 2. Hut number 1 has its own bucket with electrical running up. And that bucket just fortuitously fell off because I knew I was going to talk about it. So the power cord runs into the Inkbird. There's our Inkbird. And I've got that bad boy set at 75 degrees. My soil inside my hut is currently 74.7 at 9 inches at depth. Soil heating cables are probably about 14 inches. Like I said before, this is our little probe wire, and it runs way under there. Here it is. You can't see it going under the brick. Underneath, deep into the soil. Probably 4 to 5 inches above soil heating cables. This one's a lot warmer than everybody else because I put that hut up yesterday. And what happens is, whenever it gets to 75 or 76, it kicks off power to this outlet and gives that a break. And then if it falls back below, it kicks back on. So this is just a nice, easy, auto set thermostatic control of your heating cables. Because if you put gutter cables on there without a thermostat, they're just going to keep on heating up. And you might run into the risk of having 150 degree soil or something silly. So thermostatic control, Inkbird, makes sense. Simple and easy. You put the heating coils deep enough in the soil, 14, 16 inches, you can till over top of them forevermore. Now you can't run a broad fork anymore in this area, which is a total bummer, but I'm cool with that. I run my broad fork on the outside of this area, and this area can just be tilled and not a big deal. This is just early start. I want this soil out here to be crazy fluffy and deep to where all those roots dropping down can find a home. But that's a later video. This is all about that right there and making this right here ideal. Base of the patch, we're going to talk about the game plan. Speaking of the game plan, obviously same story, different year. Nice big plant up top, nice big plant up top. Run them down. Set a big fruit, and I'll have a nice porch pumpkin or porch squash this year. Old habits die hard. Might sneak another one over there. You know, it'd be crazy trying to grow 5 plants, two littles, 2 bigs, and obviously the 150 in the stop sign patch. But we're looking at 4 to 5 plants, all squash, and besides the watermelons, of course. It's going to be a busy year. It's going to be a fun year. And of course, we're going to have our tomatoes. Goodness, somebody ought to take care of that mess. Like I said, short and sweet today. Not a whole lot to talk about. We're still doing soil prep. Soil prep's done. We're getting things ready for planting. And what I'm doing right now in regard to that, so I'm watching the 10-day. Got my seeds started in the basement. Just started pops seeds yesterday. So they'll be ready 5 days after mine. I'm about a week or so ahead of pops on the weather, so it's perfect timing. Today's the 15th. With any luck, my April 10th seeds will be in the ground before a month lets out for sure. So starting on the 10th, 20 days from soak in the soil easily, more than likely 2 weeks. I like size. Size is my indicator, not certain days or whatnot of that nature. I want to make sure that the plants are small still. They haven't got root bound. I'll have these huts monitored with GoVs. I'll have ceramic heaters, chicken rearing lamps, directional halogens on a circuit, kicking on and off with the Inkbird. So I will know my temperatures, I'll know the forecast, and be able to monitor and mitigate any issues that possibly could arise before they arise, temperature based. Hopefully, right? Hopefully, and be ready to rock and roll. And those plants will be cotyledons, one good true leaf, and the start of the second true leaf, and hopefully in the ground. Folks, thanks for watching. It's probably longer of a video than it should have been. Next time, maybe we have plants that we talk about. Heaven forbid there's actually like, hey, look at this, it's a cute little plant. Till next time, Doc out.